I was trying. I was trying to avoid having this be like one of those just weird late night type of videos, but the lamp is about the best light I'm gonna get, considering the fact that it's like almost 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like I've been thinking about recording this video or recording a video for a while. First off, uh, Happy New Year. I know I'm 2 months late. We're about to be 3 months late practically because it's already about to be um March. Which honestly I'm kind of surprised it's about to be March because it just went February. But it's funny because I'm pretty sure I mentioned Corey Kenshin on my channel before, because I always think about me and Corey as far as uploading, because I don't have a set upload schedule, and I'm sure that if I uploaded more I'd probably start gaining more subscribers, but I'm not really worried about that. As well as YouTube isn't like a job for me. It's one of those I want to upload when I want to upload without having to be dependent on it. And just a lot of times I can't think of any content that I want to do, so I just typically don't post anything. So I've been talking about playing some type of game on the channel for a while. I just haven't got around to it. Like, I haven't even played The Walking Dead definitive edition like I wanted to. I played Left 4 Dead 2. I done beat all the campaigns for that. I finally got it. And I done beat all the campaigns for that except for the Left 4 Dead ones. I've been playing that. It's like I want to do other content. Like, I used to play games on my channel, so I want to go back to doing that. But it's just like I never feel like I have time, which is basically what this video is gonna be about. Cause I had to sit down and make time to upload something just to say that I did upload something. And it's not one of those. This is not necessarily a video I have to make, but it is a video that I wanted to make. At least a discussion that I wanted to have because I've been thinking about it lately. But I guess just to catch up with what's been going on for the past, who knows how many months that I haven't uploaded. I remember there was a video I had posted. I'm gonna edit this video like way late, but I'm still gonna upload it to when I get done recording. But there was a video a while ago that I had uploaded where I was talking about how I had a falling out with one of my friends because I just kind of realized that we didn't need to be friends, and how frustrated I was about that because at that time I built up a history of just building relationships with people who I didn't need to build relationships with, that ended up not working out, because I used to attach to people a lot easier back last year because of there's a lot of things I feel like I'm lacking in life, and a good friend group and a love interest was that specifically what I felt like I was lacking. So I was trying to get more friends, and there was women that I actually liked and wanted to build relationships with. So I was trying to build that relationship. And I done had so many failures in succession that I just started getting frustrated with the whole thing, because it's like, why do I keep going through this and dealing with this with people that I honestly suspected that it wasn't gonna come out of nothing. But like, why did it end up going exactly how I felt it would? And why is it that I can't make a difference? It's one of those things where you start to question yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? And I realize it's not necessarily me. I handle a lot of situations wrong, But I don't think that when I was trying to be a genuine friend to people or a genuine person for a relationship, I don't think that I handled the situation so negatively that that was the only outcome that would happen. It's just that's just the nature of the relationship. But anyway, I remember I was talking to my barber because he's like another person I go to. I don't really go to him per se for advice, or at least I didn't. But he was one of the people that I just like talk to every now and then. Me and him kind of got close, so he was asking me because I ended up seeing said friend at the barbershop because she's the one that put me on to that barbershop. And I guess we ended up making a lot of appointments like back to back. So it was a weird day. I don't know if I talked about this on here, but it was like a weird day where I uh I ended up I ended up going, and it was funny, like I was sitting there for like 10 minutes not in the chair yet because my barber was still working on somebody else. And then as soon as I got in the chair and he wrapped the little apron thing around me, she popped out and I said, "Oh, okay." And we just, nodded at each other and that was it. And he asked me like the next time I went, he was like, "So what happened between y'all? Cause y'all didn't even say nothing to each other. And she's also coming right after your appointment, so I thought y'all set this up." And I was like, "Great, I'm about to see her again." And I told him the situation and everything. He was like, cause I told him I still had regrets about how I handled it because, my biggest regret with that situation is that I was so angry. And it's like a lot of that anger wasn't even mine. I was angry for a friend of mine who was going through something at the same time I was, along with my situation. So it's like, dang. So I feel like you kind of F me over, and then I feel like you also effing her over. And it's like, great. I'm mad, doubly mad because I cared a lot about this friend at the time. So I was like, I really didn't handle this situation as good as I wanted to because, there should be no point where, at least when there's somebody I considered a friend, there should be no point to where I have to turn my anger on you. And I felt really bad about it. And he was like, "Well, if you still feel some regrets, why don't you just talk to her about it?" He was like, "Just, say, hey, I don't like how I handled the situation." And why you don't want to drop down now? No, no. Good. All I want to do is see what time it was, see what percent you on. It's 203, 50%. All right. He was like, "Why not just, reconcile with her, say, hey, I'm sorry for how I handled that situation." He's like, "Y'all don't have to keep talking afterwards, but it just make you feel better because at the end of the day, you're going to be judged for your actions and what you did." And there's a lot of times where you don't want to burn bridges with people because you never know how they can work against you. And like that, the person I fell out with, I never really thought of it like that. But I remember there was a time when I was taking my test to become a manager at my job. And I remember that whole time, like I was studying all week trying to make sure that I was gonna get it right. And I remember telling my other friend, because she said something about how she was probably gonna come up there, the person I fell out with. And I was telling her that I was kind of scared of the outcome of the test because I was like, if I fail this test and I don't move forward, then it's like nothing I've done was anything that I've done up to that point was for nothing. And it's like it would be doubly terrible if I had this falling out with this person just to end up in an even worse position. Because I'm a firm believer in karma. Well, I say I'm a firm believer in karma, but that's really, I don't go out of my way to try and ruin somebody's life. But I feel like I have a lot of times where I just take out my personal responsibility for a situation that I could be held accountable for. And that's just my way of saying I'm avoiding karma. I feel like that's something I need to work on because basically I don't do everything to the best ability to ensure that somebody else doesn't suffer, but I don't go out of my way to cause the suffering of others. And I was thinking, that if I didn't become manager, then that was my personal karma that I had to face in handling that situation wrong. Now, she didn't really help me feel any better about the situation, and she was honestly like the last person I'd go to when it comes to emotional type things. But the other friend that I talked to, I couldn't talk to her, so I was just like bumping. She asked what was wrong. I kind of got what I expected out of it, and I already talked myself out of feeling that way. But as you know, I became manager, so it didn't work out. It worked out, but it didn't become what I thought it was going to become. And I stopped thinking about it because I was like, I'm finally moving forward. And that was a whole other situation in itself. But I was thinking, because when he asked, why have you talked to her? And I was like, I guess I just haven't been prepared to face the consequences of my actions, which is definitely something I struggle with. Being able to face the fact that you is either you effed up or you're holding yourself back from whatever it is that you need to do to become better, like you want to, like you say you want to. And I remember my friend again, the one that she was having problems with, she was telling me, your such and such is coming up to see you one of these days to give you something. And I'm just like, it's like just a couple of days after I had that conversation with my barber, and now she's telling me this. And I already know what it was, because that also deals with the situation of the past. And I was just like, timing is impeccable. But she said she was coming like that day and she didn't. So I'm like, all right, maybe she's not coming. She came the next day. And then I was like, crap. Because that was the day I worked. And it was just me and two of my coworkers. And we were kind of busy. I'm like, I can't necessarily take this time to sit and have a conversation. But this is really important to me, because if I don't have this conversation, then I will never move forward in life. So, my two coworkers, bless them. Well, one of them, the other one, he messed up a couple things that night and ended up biting us in the butt in the end. But the other one, she was like, sit down, have a conversation with her. We got this. Every time I try to hop on the line or to take an order, she said, we got this. I said, all right, cool. We had a talk. I apologize. That was one of the first times in a while that I even was close to tears, because I was thinking, man, I feel like really terrible, but I'm also really glad that I got to have this conversation, because I can finally move forward. We talked it out, figured some things out. I apologized because I was like, I really handled this situation terribly, and I can't look at myself as a man with dealing with a personal or with an ex-friend like that. Like, if that's how I treat situations, then I can't look at myself as a man. And that also deals with masculinity, trying to be the more composed person, and still thinking with the fact that men are not allowed to be emotional. And I'm trying to grow out of that mindset, because, I may not be a sad or bitter bee at times, but I definitely get depressed. I definitely get angry. I have a lot of times where I'm just sad or I feel alone a lot. So it's like I feel bad a lot about the emotions that I have, but I gotta get out of that, because men are just allowed to feel just as much as women. It's just not as popularized. And I still remember how when I first started the whole journey of expressing my emotions the way I did, when I made that post a long time ago talking about my depression from dealing with these different type of situations, I got positive comments, and then I also got some negatives from family, because family is, I I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm not really that close with a lot of my family members, and it's like some of them I'm not close to them personally because I don't necessarily want to be, and others I'm just not like we don't talk every day. But if we see each other, or if we comment on each other's Facebook posts, or it's my birthday or their birthday, it's like we'll say something, we're cool. But I remember my grandma told me a lot of the backlash came from the fact that people thought I was talking about killing myself when I was expressing my emotions. And I was like, not once did I say I wanted to commit suicide. I just said I was depressed and I feel like crap. Like, I didn't say I was going to kill myself. But my grandma, she had called me and she was trying to give me a conversation because, old people feel like they know everything. And I'm not trying to disrespect the wiser generation occasionally, but she was thinking it was about a girl, which it was about a girl, but it wasn't about like I'm trying to be in this relationship with this girl. It was about the fact that I damaged the relationship when I could have handled the situation better. But I just let her talk her piece. I was just listening because it kind of helped. But after all that, because it's why can I not look at bumping? I guess I don't need to know what time it is. And yes, there's a clock over there, but it's like 5 minutes, so it's probably 2:11. But after all that, because it's always old people don't tell you stuff without having to tell you something else that's gonna make you upset. She told me, don't ever post like that again because people, because she's close to people that I've went to school with, like people, the administrators that were there at my school, my old school before I moved up here. And she said, don't ever post stuff like that again because they started, questioning me and all that. And I'm just like, you're not my mom. And I'm friends with the person that you're talking about on Facebook. And if she felt like I was going to kill myself, she could have messaged me and say, hey, are you okay? And it's like, I never said that I was going to kill myself. And I'm sure I talked about this in another video, but that really bothered me because I'm just like, it's stuff like that that ends up with people really killing themselves because they feel like they can't talk to anybody. And it's like, I never voice my opinions about myself or my emotions that I was having for approval or anything, but you're not going to try and tell me not to post stuff like that. Because if I didn't post stuff like that, I feel like I'd be doing a disservice for myself and other people who do feel like that. I'm not no mental health advocate or nothing, but if I can't stand up for myself, how do I expect to be able to stand up for other people that might go through the same thing? Shoot, one of my coworkers who's a friend of mine, he was going through a similar thing where it was a whole mess. Like a bunch of people from his school got involved and they were questioning his mom, and she was going through a lot, and I had to hear about it from his sister because I'm friends with her, and she felt some type of way about it. And it's like, it's crazy how, especially with him, because he's one of those people that like doesn't care. He just says what's on his mind. And I was saying what was on my mind. I wasn't doing it for sympathy or nothing. I just said what was on my mind because it's something I felt like I had to let out. And it was like this whole uproar when we try to express ourselves. Why is that? I really don't understand the backlash for saying, hey, I'm not okay. It's like a lot of people have this whole mindset that anything that doesn't express happiness is bad. But when you express a certain type of happiness, it's still bad. It's like we judge each other a lot for feeling any type of way that doesn't go with the code that we've established. So it's like being depressed automatically means you want to kill yourself, and you shouldn't want to kill yourself because you have nothing to want to kill yourself for. You're letting XYZ affect you in such a way when you have ABC that you should be grateful for. And it's like that stuff like that is why a lot of us, especially men, young people in general, feel like we can't feel anything because there's always going to be some type of guilt. You don't deserve to be sad because you have a roof over your head and you have food that you get to eat and stuff like that. And it's like, I didn't never said I didn't appreciate that. I just said, because of my life decisions right now, I'm not in a good state of mind. I'm not happy with where I'm at. That doesn't make me less grateful for the things that I have. I'm just not happy with the decisions I've made. A lot of times I'm not, me personally, it doesn't, what I'm about to say isn't for me personally, but a lot of people aren't happy with the roof over their head because of the things that come with it. A lot of people don't want to eat because of the things that come with it. So it's like, until we try to really understand each other, we're never going to be able to have that conversation about mental health, because mental health apparently is a disease or illness that you all you have to do is pray away or acknowledge everything you have going good for yourself. And it's like, it's not that easy sometimes. And I'm not personally diagnosed because I haven't been to the doctor and God knows how long. I wonder what I would get if when I finally do go to the doctor, but I'm not personally diagnosed, so I'm not trying to say that I have anything specifically, but I know I feel depression a lot. If I have anything, it would be depression. That's just a self-diagnosis. But I don't even remember how I got on this topic. I remember I was talking about my friend, but I was feeling bad about that. So when I finally got to have that conversation with her and we kind of quelled things, it didn't restart a friendship, and I wasn't expecting it to. But it's like, I faced the consequences of my actions, and I can move forward in a new light. So I did that. Everything was kind of good for a while. It's been these past couple months that started becoming kind of to me, because I remember I was starting to get to the it's funny, I was starting to get to the point in my head that I'm at right now, and then my great grandma died. And the thing is, I never really knew her. Like, I've seen her face at least, but I didn't know her for who she was. Like, I could say I've seen her, but I don't remember any like stories I have with her or anything like that. But my dad was like, we're going to her funeral, you have to take time off from work. But it was so last minute that I really could only work around with the schedule, and I was lucky enough to be able to switch some things up so I could go. But I hated the fact that we were going, considering I didn't know her. It's me being selfish. I didn't know her. It's so last minute, and it's like, I know that in my position, I'm one of the only people that can work the way that I work at the job. So it's like, this sucks, because I'm not gonna lie, I am one of those people that, or I've been one of those people that, once they get away from the everybody and family and stuff like that, I don't come back. Like, my parents have been down to Florida a lot to visit family, and I'm normally working. Sometimes they didn't tell me they were going to visit family. They just told me they were going to do like shopping, stuff like that. So I wasn't interested. But then they went to go see family, and it's like, oh, I still can take off time from work because this is like a last minute kind of thing. I'm not trying to be unprofessional. At least it seemed unprofessional in my opinion. But then I kind of realized jobs suck. Like, there's so many things that you let slide when you're a person like me, that you start realizing that y'all are lucky that I haven't done a lot of the things that I could have did if I gave less of a crap about this job. But we're not going to talk about that. But I was frustrated because I was like, I already know something's gonna go wrong with this. I talked to one of the managers to try and work with her about how we're gonna work this out. And I already knew something was going to go wrong with that, because she kind of understood, but she also didn't understand. And then I talked to my GM about it, because, it's only 3 of us managers. And everything seemed like it was going to be straight. And I was like, hey, I don't really care because I'm not going to be here. But you can't say that I didn't talk about it and figure it out. I did my part. I talked to both the managers. I thought we were on the same page, but of course we aren't, because the job is uncoordinated as crap. But I knew once I left the door Friday, I knew something was gonna go wrong. But I was like, hey, whatever. Saturday we went to the funeral because Friday we spent all the time getting there, and then Saturday we went to the funeral. Then we hung out with one of I think my godmom. We hung out with her that night, and then Sunday we hung out with our family at Golden Corral because you know that's the black people place to go. If you gonna hang out with your family, you going to Golden Corral. And we went there, and you know we ate and stuff, and I got to see some family that I like haven't seen for years. My second uncle or my third uncle, I forget which one the order was. I know my dad's like the oldest out of his siblings, and I remember I haven't seen him in 12 years apparently, because we went to Virginia to see him like years ago. I saw him and his kids. His daughter makes me think of what it would be like if I had a sister. So we got along. You know, I'm having a good time with family, and I didn't even originally want to go. And I remember I was telling my dad, because I was like, you know, I really didn't want to go at first because, you know, my mind was so focused on work and everything. And I started getting to that place where I was isolating myself. And I was like, I'm glad I did because I had such a good time. And I was thinking about that when we were riding home. I was like, I'm not going to work because I'm not supposed to go to work. And I just spent time with my family. You know, I'm really going to cherish this before I have to go back to work. And I remember I was sleeping, and my phone is on do not disturb. So it does this thing where if I get a text message, it'll vibrate. Like if I lift it up, it'll vibrate to say, hey, you got a text message. And I remember my dad was driving kind of crazy. I was sleeping like this with my knee up, and my phone was on my knee. And had my headphones in and Bluetooth. Another thing, when my phone rings and I have Bluetooth in my ear, it distorts the music to let me know that the phone is ringing. And I was like, somebody calling me? No, nobody should be calling me because, you know, nobody ever calls me ever. So I don't see the point. And then I just looked up. I was like, because I was in the middle of sleep. I was like, let me just go ahead and get up because something ain't right. And I got a text from two people, my GM and one of my coworkers. And the missed call that I had was from my coworker. And she said, please answer the phone or please text the GM back. I look at the GM's text and she says, are you coming in? I said, no. And she was like, well, the other manager isn't coming in. And I said, why not? And she was like, because you told her you were coming in. And I said, no, I didn't. I told her, because originally my plan was, I'm going to take your next 2 days and then you can take my Saturday and Sunday. And I'll switch with the GM on Friday so I open and she can close for me. Originally, that was okay. And I was going to switch Sunday with her where she was going to open and I was going to close. And that was okay. But then when I was talking to her about it later, she was like, I didn't agree to that. I can take Saturday and I'm not coming in Thursday, but I want to work my Wednesday and my Sunday. I said, okay, that goes against what I was saying, but I'll take your Thursday since you're not coming in. And you can take my Saturday, and then, you know, we ain't got to worry about Sunday since my GM is going to open Sunday. So, thought that was figured out. It wasn't. I was like, well, okay. Like she didn't text me back after I told her that I didn't agree to switch with her on Sunday because I didn't see the point. And I'd already talked to her about me not coming in Sunday because I was like, there's no point if you're going to open and she's going to close. But whatever. I was like, I hope they figure it out. Then she decides to send us this text message because my GM has a thing where she sends us messages in a group text. It's supposed to be like snarky or whatever, and it's like, I'm over it. And that really made me mad, particularly because I was like, I can never have anything without this job getting on my nerves. Like, I literally woke up out of my sleep, out of my dream of finally being happy, being away from the thing that I hate called work, just to wake up and be brought back to reality with a simple text. And then that little text message was like, still not gonna make me come in considering I was nowhere near the job. It's like, if there was a mishappening like that and I was around, I would have went to work. I would have been mad that I'd be going to work, but I would have went to work. I wasn't in town. I was in the car, nowhere near coming back home because I wasn't supposed to work. So I'm like, I'm not finna sit here and feel upset when I did everything I could do on my part to make sure that they knew what was going on. And it's not my fault it didn't work out. Even my dad was like, look, you gonna have to tell her that it's gonna have something gonna have to give, because it's like you never know what happens. And I'm tired of doing a lot of things. Like, I do a lot of favors for the people at the job because I'm one of those people that can work like darn near all the time. Like, I stopped doing so many favors of being so available because it's like I'm kind of tired of being the person that everybody can go to, or the person that kind of just does everything that needs to be done when other people won't come in or won't step up to do it. And it's like, it made me think about how much I've been given to this job without really, like, you're appreciated until you do one thing. I don't ask for much at the job. The only time I've ever asked for time off is when my mom had surgery, because my mom is important to me and I would not come to work if anything would happen to her or my dad. They the only people here in South Carolina with me. If anything happens to them, I'll promise you I will not come to work. But I at least take time to request off because they know ahead of time if they need to go to the doctor or something. My mom had surgery, so I made sure that I took time off to go to work. I took time off to go make sure she was okay. And that was when I was working at Wendy's. My manager calls me in. I'm like, I don't really want to go to work because my mom's in the hospital and I've been spending time with her. But my dad was like, I can take you to work. So I said, all right, I'll go to work. And I'm going to go back when I get done. And it's like, at both my jobs, I made a lot of sacrifices. And my mind was so work focused that I didn't even realize how much of a break that I needed from the job. So spending time with my family was really nice. And then it's like, when, like I said, I barely asked for anything at the job. And it's sad that even the bare minimum can't be given to somebody who deserves a lot more than they asked for. And that's not me tooting my own horn.